I'm Trevor Matich, and this is my bracket.
This episode of My Bracket is presented by Ram Trucks.
In the first game, I think James Madison can beat Oregon if Oregon doesn't come ready to play, because James Madison has players on both sides of the ball. But Oregon clearly is the more talented team, and if they have their A game, they will win. Now, I think the Alabama-Oklahoma game is much more tricky. A lot of people like Alabama in this game, but I don't. I like Oklahoma because their defense is even better than the Georgia defense that completely stuffed Alabama's offense in the SEC championship game. Especially Oklahoma's pass rush is much better than Georgia's. And if Alabama's offense is not throwing the ball successfully, they are not scoring points. So I will go with the Sooners. Then Tulane-Ole Miss. Ole Miss smoked Tulane in the regular season in Oxford. This game is also in Oxford. It's tough to beat a good team twice. Tulane is a good team, but I think Ole Miss is going to get the job done. Then Miami, Texas A&M, and this one is tricky as well, because when Miami's playing at their best, they're really hard to beat because they don't make mistakes. It's when Carson Beck is throwing interceptions that Miami gets beat. But Texas A&M has got more elite playmakers in more places on both sides of the ball, and Texas A&M secondary is one of the best tackling secondaries in all of college football. That'll slow down that passing attack. I like A&M. So now we've got Oregon and Texas Tech. This is a team of destiny, if you ask them. Texas Tech. They believe that they were meant to win right now. And that, as a player, I can tell you, goes a long ways towards coming out and at least starting fast. Everything Oregon can do, Texas Tech can do. But I think Texas Tech might be even better on the front. And remember that Indiana held Oregon to 20 points in Eugene this year. I will take Texas Tech. Now, Oklahoma, Indiana, both defenses are elite, but Oklahoma's offense has struggled. They've had injuries on the offensive line. The quarterback, John Mateer, has not been quite himself since he came back from surgery to repair a broken bone in his throwing thumb earlier in the season. I think that two elite defenses, one elite offense, and I like Indiana. Now, Georgia, Ole Miss. In the regular season, Ole Miss went to Georgia and lost 43-35. And so it was a close game. Georgia had trouble stopping Ole Miss quarterback Trinidad Chambliss. But that Georgia defense started the season slow, especially in pass defense, got better and better as the season went on, and now they're one of the elite defenses in the nation. I think Georgia will beat them again, and I think it'll be a little easier. Then you've got Texas A&M and Ohio State. One of the biggest favors you can give a football player and team is to make them feel disrespected. Last year, Ohio State lost their last game of the regular season against Michigan, heard a lot of chirping, and they came into the playoff with a fury, and they took it out on every poor team that had the misfortune to stand in front of them over the course of the playoffs on the way to the national championship. They are in that same position now, and I think one of the best things that could have happened to Ohio State from a national championship perspective is losing to Indiana in the Big Ten championship game. I think the Buckeyes come roaring back. Now, Texas Tech, Indiana, this is going to be a defensive marvel, but Texas Tech's offense is very good. Indiana's offense is elite. I'm going to go with Fernando Mendoza to get his team to the final. And then Georgia, Ohio State, same way. This very well could be the national championship game if they were playing in the next round. This is fantastic. But once again, I think Ohio State has got elite playmakers on the perimeter on offense that Georgia doesn't quite match. That means receivers, Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Max Clare, the tight end. And I think there's just more guys that can beat the other guys on the other side, one-on-one or even one-on-two on the Buckeyes side. And I think that will be the difference in a very hard-fought, close game, won by the more talented, but especially the more angry Buckeyes team. And I think in this game, it's a rematch, right? Ohio State only scored one offensive touchdown against Indiana the first time around. They couldn't protect their quarterback, Julian Sayin, against that ferocious Indiana pass rush. Well, adjustments. And I think that Ohio State will learn from some of those mistakes. They'll see some of the opportunities that they missed. They will game plan those in. And I think that Ohio State will not lose twice to the same team. I think the Buckeyes repeat, and we have a scarlet and gray national champion for the second straight year. Don't forget to make your bracket picks at espn.com/CFP challenge.
Thank you for watching My Bracket presented by Ram Trucks.